Electricity consumers to see a change in their power bills come next month. Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley.
And I'm Charisma Robinson. The change in your electricity bill is likely after months of rolling power outages. But now officials at the Bahamas Power and Light Company say the constant blackouts are expected to change.
LaDawn Davis has tonight's top story.
Keeping the electrical supply on for the more than 130,000 consumers and businesses during the hot summer months and busy season has been quite a challenge for the Bahamas Power and Light Company, and this is evident by the large number of blackouts occurring across the capital. These were caused by generation failure at either the Clifton Pier or Blue Hills power stations on a daily basis. However, according to BPL's Senior Communications Manager Arnett Ingram, the generation breakdown will not cause a rate increase on your bills by BPL, but says there will be a slight change in fuel surcharges.
What people will see is that there is a change in the fuel charge this month, and it's slightly higher than they may have seen last month. Last month was 11.3 cents. This month it's 12.7 cents per kilowatt hour, which is still a very stark difference than we would have seen some time ago when the fuel charge was as high as 28 cents per kilowatt hour. So there's no rate increase. Really, it's just a fluctuation in the fuel charge.
Ingram said BPL is on target for the installation of those 40 additional megawatt rental generators, which are expected to be in operation by the end of this week.
So by next week, we should be fully using the 40 megawatts of rental power, additional power that we have received from the Aggreko company. The good news for them is that they actually are better users of fuel. So people can actually expect that the fuel charge may go down slightly. Of course, it still depends on what's going on internationally in terms of the cost of fuel on the open market.
Now, when asked if the new rental units will decrease the level of load shedding on a consistent basis, this is how Ingram responded.
With these rental units in, you won't see the amount of disruptions in supply that you would have seen in the past. What these rental units will do for us is they will allow us to now focus on maintaining those other engines that we've had some problems with in the last few weeks. And the good thing about these rental units is that they're more efficient in their use of fuel.
The Bahamas Power and Light Company is also updating the public on the engine failure issues at both power stations.
Some of our engines back up at Clifton Pier, and our more efficient unit at Blue Hills is also operable again. So Blue Hills is still carrying, it's pretty much balanced right now, but what we'd like to see, and what we've also always talked about here at BPL, is that we'd like to see a 60-40 mix where we're using 60% of Clifton Pier and 40% of Blue Hills. We're not quite there yet, but we hope that in the coming weeks we get a better use of our machines.
BPL officials say the rental units will be in operation as long as it is necessary to carry out the proper maintenance of their engines. The company will look at a long-term plan to bring in more efficient machines into the mix. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.